when a certain piece of news hit that both of us really feel like we need to talk about and provide context for. So this is, if you've seen, I think it's just been breaking onto Twitter in the past hour, but it started a while ago on Weibo with a bunch of posts. And I'm actually going to have Peter take it away to talk about the JackeyLove off-season saga, as we've learned today.
I mean, to fill in all the juicy details, but basically, in advance of the Top Esports versus Invictus Gaming playoff matchup that's come up, a lot of information has come out about JackeyLove's, how should I say, behavior in the offseason, or behavior of people close to JackeyLove.
His extended hiatus. We're not, as far as I know, from what I've seen, it doesn't seem like JackeyLove did anything wrong. It does seem like he got taken advantage of by a family member. Where I've been joking that players need to be more careful about trusting their family members, especially ones that say they can make you a lot of money.
I mean, to put it, to summarize it for people that don't know, basically, JackeyLove's cousin was acting as, I guess, his agent.
His agent, I think, yeah.
Agreed a preliminary deal and wasn't satisfied with the amount of money Invictus Gaming were offering him, and then agreed a deal with RNG that said that he would sign for RNG or a preliminary contract, and if that was broken, there would be a penalty of 10 million yuan, which is about, what's the exchange rate now? It's about $1.4 million. And then the deal fell through with RNG. He then made lots of advances to other teams, and basically frustrated and basically isolated a lot of organizations where JackeyLove hoped to end up. And this ended up basically in JackeyLove not having a team. And in fact, he only recently played his first game for Top Esports, 2 weeks ago?
Less than that, I think, actually.
Yeah.
He was announced for the team 2 weeks ago, but then he didn't actually. He was like available to play on the 5th, I believe. And then the LPL had their day of silence, and then he didn't start in their next 2 series, I believe.
Yeah, but I mean, just for context, for maybe people who don't know sort of the inner workings of Chinese organizations in esports, basically loyalty to your organization is really, really important. And basically, JackeyLove was kind of Invictus Gaming's, for lack of a better word, but Invictus Gaming's chosen one for multiple years. After season 5, so that's the rookie Kakao era, JackeyLove was brought into the roster as a 15-year-old, really promising rookie, and then LPL rose the minimum age one year, so he was 1 year too young to play, and then they did it again the year after, so he was always 1 year too young to play in LPL, although he played in off-season tournaments. And basically, Invictus Gaming, knowing that they had this super talented youngster, one of the most promising AD carries ever, sort of as a rookie in China, kind of sacrificed their ability to develop bot lane talent basically for him. They brought in Rain, I think, or they had Rain as an AD carry, who was a Korean import who really wasn't very good in season 6. And then they tried Kid, who was a jungler, but then became AD carry as an experiment for 1 year, whilst they were waiting for him to, in a sense, graduate and become the star of Invictus Gaming. And obviously this paid off. I mean, he wasn't the only star, but this paid off. Invictus Gaming got their world championship. They had a very successful run last year. But for something like this to happen is crazy. And for it to involve conflict between RNG and Invictus Gaming, who are very, very intense and close rivals, is even more crazy as well, I guess, for lack of a better word. I mean, there's no other way to describe this, right?
Yeah, it's RNG and IG beef goes back, and I'm not gonna get into a lot of it on the record, but I think the rivalry between these two teams is lengthy, we'll just say, and involves a lot of back and forth looks at specific players from teams. The big thing is, I guess, how much do we think this will affect anything going into the top IG match?
I mean, I think it's going to affect everything. I mean, I'm just imagining the fallout if Jackie Love like has an MVP performance in this. I mean, for Western audiences who may not know, this would be the equivalent of, I mean, I guess Caps went to G2 like 2 years ago. So it was kind of, it was something even more similar like that than similar to that. But you know, it adds an extra level of spice to the series. It adds an extra level of pressure to the series. We're going to get to see how especially Invictus Gaming's new bot lane, how they cope with the extra scrutiny going into the series. I mean, it's going to put a lot of pressure on them to show their level. I mean, I don't think it's like Rookie and the Shy have like shown like, you know, they're world champions. They it's not going to affect them at all. It's going to be a bit of a breeze. But for the younger players who are going to play in this series, it really is going to put an extra layer of pressure that they may that go in addition to, you know, being a semi-final of LPL. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of, so it's off stage, but it's still a ton of pressure. I'm wondering about Puff and Southwind only because I feel like teams more recently have learned to, and again, like IG has still had, you know, a stellar record, but it's still primarily been around Rookie and the Shy. At the beginning of the season, I think they facilitate a lot more for Puff and Southwind, especially in draft. However, as the like weeks have gone on, I feel like teams have started to pick on them more and expose a lot of their weaknesses, which is, I mean, it doesn't necessarily bode well for a ridiculous now grudge match against the former like prodigious AD carry talent that this team had raised for what, 3 years before he was able to debut? 2 years?
Yeah, through 3 years. Yeah, 2 years before he was able to debut, and he was a part of the roster for what, 5 years now. He's 20, right?
Yeah, so he was a trainee for forever.
Yeah, and of course, this leaves out the fact that it's Night9 versus Rookie. I mean,
we haven't even touched on that yet.
Which are two of the most insane mid laners in the entire world, not just in China. And you know, that's what I was really looking forward to going into this game. I thought that maybe the fact that JackeyLove hadn't found the team, maybe it was to do with some illness, maybe it was to do with maybe a slight injury, maybe he wanted to take some time off. But the fact that all of this juicy gossip has come to light right now really shifted that focus away. But I'm sure that once the game starts, that's where the focus will be.
It's very timely the way this is coming out, and the fact that Wang Shikong got involved almost immediately, which is huge for people that don't know. Like typically, I know that some of the people who are translating this stuff for Twitter right now, Ron has a thread on it. If you don't follow her, it's I believe Ron_LPL on Twitter. She translated a bunch of it, and she even said she's like, I don't usually do like unsubstantiated Weibo rumors, but then Wang Shikong came out and basically said yes, and also I have these receipts. So
I mean, for people who don't know, Wang Shikong is the owner of IG and is basically the son of the richest man in China. I mean, he's an entrepreneur in his own right, multi-hundred millionaire. Billionaire? He's got to be a billionaire. But I mean,
I feel like he's a billionaire at this point.
I feel like he's a multi-billionaire, and and he's come out of Weibo basically and shown the evidence. And, like,
it doesn't look good for JackeyLove's cousin. We'll just say that.
It doesn't look good for JackeyLove's cousin. It doesn't look good for JackeyLove that he trusted his cousin. I mean,
yeah. Again, like the thing that we need to blame JackeyLove for is having this kind of I don't know, like puppy dog faith in his cousin to cut him a good deal when it's very obvious that his cousin was looking out for you know, himself and money. Wang Shikong has a reputation for being petty though, so lol. That is also true, but I think based on what has been posted, it actually really doesn't look good for JackeyLove's cousin more than anyone else.